Hi students, and welcome back to another lesson on Rene Magritte as we continue our series, Dreaming with Magritte. Today we will look at how Magritte combined images and words, but he did it in such an interesting and funny way. Many times Magritte would paint an ordinary object and misname it, or put a confusing sentence underneath. And it will make us question these familiar objects in a new and interesting way. Let's take a closer look at how Magritte combined images and words. Rene Magritte was one of the most famous surrealist artists. Take a look at this painting by Magritte called The Interpretation of Dreams from 1935. Take a look at the images and the words. What's going on? It's a little strange, isn't it? There's a picture of a horse, then the words, the door. A picture of a clock, then the words, the wind. A picture of a water pitcher, and the words, the bird. And finally, a picture of a valise, and the words, the valise. Only the picture and the words in the bottom right corner match. Everything else is misnamed. Misnaming objects was one of Magritte's key strategies for making familiar things look unfamiliar and reminding us that pictures of things are not actually the things themselves. Magritte wanted people to look at ordinary things in different ways. He wanted us to question and think more deeply about how we see and how we speak. Why is a horse named a horse and a clock named a clock? Couldn't we have given these things a different name? This is another painting by Magritte from 1964. It says in French, "This is not an apple." He asked if it was an apple, can you bite it? Can you eat it? Of course not. That's because this is not an apple. This is a picture of an apple. A picture is not the thing itself. It's only a representation of the thing. Just like how a map isn't the land or territory. This is a world map. But is it actually the world? No, it's not. It's only a representation of it. Many artists later on did their own versions inspired by Rene Magritte. People continue to think about images, words, and objects. Magritte made us think about how we use images and words to describe things. When are images, words, and objects connected? And when does that connection end? We will now do our own version, taking inspiration from Magritte. What object will you choose? Look around your home and find an object that you like. We will paint it and write the words underneath, "This is not," and the name of that object. The rest of this video will be for this painting here. This is not a donut. So whether you do a donut or not, I hope you enjoy watching this video. I'll be doing today's lesson as a painting on canvas. But if you don't have those materials at home, you can do your artwork with colored pencils, markers, pastels, or watercolors. Whatever materials you have at home will work. First, you want to choose your object. It might be your favorite toy, or it might be something that you find in your room, or kitchen, or anywhere in the house. So go ahead and look around and think. What do I want to make my painting about? And what do I want to paint and write underneath the words, "This is not a," and whatever that object is. As for me, I love donuts. So I'm going to do my painting based on a donut. Now I recommend that you start with a pencil, but for the purposes of this video, I'll be drawing with a marker so you can see more clearly. I'm going to start by sketching a donut and working with the circular oval shapes. I'm going to put my donut near the center and the top. That way I leave space down below to write the words, "This is not a donut," because it's not a donut. It's a picture of a donut, right? I'm beginning near the top of my canvas with an arch shape. It is a curved shape to represent the top of the donut. And then to round out the donut, I'll be putting in squiggly, curvy lines to represent the frosting at the bottom. And now comes the donut hole, the center of the donut that is cut out. How is your donut looking? And remember, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. Next, I'm drawing the base of the donut. It is a curved shape similar to the top of the donut, but this time it just goes at the bottom in the opposite direction. And now, near the bottom of the canvas, I will write the words, "This is not a donut." You could write your words in any way you want. You could write it in cursive or in block letter. That is your choice. How is your drawing looking? I'm sure it looks fantastic. Hope you're having fun. And now I have my drawing finished. Now it's time to paint in my drawing. So I have my paintbrushes ready, and I recommend using either tempera or acrylic paint. I like to start painting with the background because that is the larger space. You can use whatever colors you like for your background. And if you want to draw extra things like have your donut on a table or a plate, that's totally fine too. And some of you may decide to add in extra decorations or patterns into your background. Go ahead and have fun painting your background. And a friendly reminder, you can always pause and rewind this video at any time. Now that I'm finished with my background, I'm going to start painting my donut. I recommend using a smaller paintbrush when painting your donut because your donut is a smaller object than the background. You can use colors of beige or tan for your donut. Using a smaller paintbrush is great for details, and you might have forgotten areas like, oops, I forgot that area of blue with the hole. And now I'm going to paint the frosting. Frosting. I'm making my frosting pink. What color will you make your frosting? How are you doing? How is your donut looking? Is it starting to look yummy? I also recommend using a range of colors by layering different tints and shades. I'm layering in darker pinks and lighter pinks. This will make my frosting look better. Go ahead and try layering and blending in tints and shades of color. Next, using a very small brush, I'm going to add sprinkles. If you like sprinkles, go ahead and add sprinkles to your painting. And remember, use a very small, tiny brush. Your sprinkles will come out better. And if you're up for it, you can even add very thin highlights to your sprinkles just by using a very little bit of white paint. You can add the highlights. And hold on to that tiny small brush because you'll need it to paint in the words. I'm painting in my words with black paint. Now you don't have to use black paint. You could use any color you want. And if you don't want to paint in your words, but write it with a permanent marker, that's fine too. But just remember to wait and make sure the paint is completely dry before you write in your words with a permanent marker. This takes time and focus, so don't rush. Take your time. Go one letter at a time. You're doing great. Alright, I'm just about done. I hope you had a fun time. Thank you for joining.